Sweet meat. In the dense velvet dark of the city's outer edge, where the forest creeps toward civilization and lamplight barely keeps the shadows at bay, there lived two sisters in a crumbling estate where the trees whispered of bones beneath the soil. Their names were Dahlia and Lucine, identical in body, not in soul. Where Dahlia was calculating, seductive, and sweet as arsenic, Lucine was cruel, impulsive, and blood-hungry. They were predators. Men and women disappeared after late-night parties, after accepting drinks too readily, after trusting honeyed smiles. They'd never be seen again, except in the blue flame of the twins' stovetop, or carefully wrapped in meat paper, sold to the black market diners of the city. Tonight, a new victim was chosen. His name was Elias Hyun. They picked him from the library, where he sat alone each night, surrounded by dusty tomes and old maps, his fingers slow on the pages. Quiet, pale, scholar type, easy prey. They thought. Lucine seduced him first, leaving her lipstick stain on the spine of his book. Dahlia followed next, posing as sweet and clumsy, dropping her purse near his feet, brushing his thigh. In time, he was lured to their home. "Stay for dinner," Dahlia whispered, pressing her body against the oak doorway. "We've already prepared something special," Lucine purred from behind. He stepped inside. Chapter 2. The Wrong Man. The air inside their manor was thick with perfume, flowers blooming too bright in dim candlelight. The dinner table was set for 3, meat steamed under a silver dome. Elias didn't speak much. He didn't flinch when Lucine's hand ghosted over his thigh. He didn't blink when Dahlia poured wine so red it looked like blood. He only watched them. Too still, too quiet, too aware. "You're not afraid of us," Lucine whispered, head tilted like a curious predator. Elias smiled faintly, the candlelight catching his glasses. "Should I be?" Dahlia leaned in, brows furrowing. "Most are. That's because most don't know what you are." A pause, and then Elias reached into his coat. In a blur, he snapped a hidden blade into the candlelight and drove it down, pinning Dahlia's hand into the table. Her scream echoed through the house. Lucine lunged, but Elias was faster. He twisted her arm, slammed her into the wall, and growled into her ear, "You picked the wrong man." Chapter 3. Predators Meet. They woke up gagged, bound, in their own home. Elias stood over them now. Not the quiet scholar, but something else entirely. Cold, controlled, merciless. A man trained not in academia but in the hunt. "You're not the first cannibals I've come across," he said calmly, cleaning his blade. "But you're definitely the prettiest." Lucine hissed behind the gag, her eyes alight with rage. Dahlia, bleeding and breathless, only smiled. "So what now?" she murmured. "You'll kill us?" Elias knelt between them. "I could, but you won't," Dahlia said, lifting her chin. "You like us. You want to know what makes us tick. You want to change us," Lucine added, voice syrupy. "No," he said slowly. "I want to break you." But the problem was he couldn't. Because no matter how long he kept them tied up, how much he tried to scare them, they enjoyed it, and something inside Elias, a dark thing, long buried, like that. Twisted appetite. Days passed, then weeks. But the house was no longer Elias's trap. It became a game, a war. Lucine would bite his shoulder during an interrogation, smirking as blood bloomed. Dahlia would lean close at night and whisper their past victims' names into his ear like lullabies. "You want to know why we eat them?" Dahlia cooed, pressing against his chest. "Because we're starving. Not for meat, but for someone like you." "You scare us," Lucine admitted, crawling up into his lap, "and that turns me on." He could kill them, but he didn't. Because their madness tasted like something he had long denied himself. Freedom and obsession. Chapter 5. Devour Me. The final night came. Elias unlocked their chains. Instead, Dahlia kissed his throat. Lucine bit his lip. "Eat us," Dahlia whispered. "Or let us eat you." He growled and pinned them both to the blood-stained dining table, tearing open buttons and bonds, slipping into madness willingly. Their mouths met in bruising, messy desperation, teeth and tongues, a tangle of predator and prey. No one knew who moaned first. No one knew who bit deeper. All that mattered was the hunger. They all disappear eventually. Now, the estate remains quiet, but once a month, someone new disappears. No one suspects the scholar at the library, and no one dares approach the blonde twins with matching heart-shaped lockets. If you see them, run, because now, they hunt together. The scholar's descent, Elias POV. They were chaos, wrapped in silk. Lucine, sharp-fanged, laughing in the dark, wearing blood like perfume. Dahlia, velvet-voiced, calculating, always watching, always knowing. And me? I was the trapper who stepped into his own snare. I told myself I was studying them, understanding the pathology, but I knew better. When I woke up that night to Dahlia perched over my chest, her eyes gleaming like frost, I didn't push her away. When Lucine crept behind me in the bath, blade at my throat, whispering, "Let me see your insides," I didn't flinch. I wanted them to devour me. I wanted to burn in the fire they carried beneath their skin. So I did what no man had done before me. I stayed. Chapter 8. Lucine bites first. He liked pain. Good. I liked giving it. When Elias pinned me to the floor and twisted my wrist until I saw stars, I came harder than I ever had in my life. He was the first man to break my skin and smile at the blood. I tasted his sweat, his violence. And I wanted more. I wanted him dead. I wanted him buried inside me. When he kissed Dahlia first, I split her lip with my fist. "Don't get greedy, sister," I warned. But she just licked the blood and purred. "He's worth sharing." Dinner for 3, Dahlia's POV. I never loved anyone but Lucine. Until him. He was methodical, ruthless. When he cut the bodies with us, he didn't hesitate. When he cooked their hearts over the fire, he seasoned them perfectly. He wasn't our prey. He became our partner. And the moment I saw Lucine's breath catch when Elias slid the knife down her thigh, I knew we were doomed. Because love like this, love born in flesh and blood, it doesn't fade. It festers. It consumes. The man in the basement. They kept him hidden from Elias, chained, starved, beaten. A man from their past, a mistake they never finished. Lucine called him rabbit. Dahlia called him regret. But he remembered everything. Their laughter. The taste of chloroform, the sound of his own bones breaking. And when Elias found the trapdoor one night, when he saw the half-dead man blinking up from the darkness, he asked only one question. Why? And Dahlia smiled softly. We were saving dessert. The choice. Elias stood between them and the dying man. "This changes everything," he said. Lucine shrugged, cleaning her blade. "No, it confirms everything. You're monsters," Elias whispered. "No," Dahlia said, stepping close. "We are the only ones honest enough to embrace it." Elias trembled. He could kill them, or he could become the third monster, the third voice in the woods, the third chair at the blood-soaked table. He looked at the man in the basement, then at the sisters, and smiled. Make room. Chapter 12. They hunt together now. They hunt together now. Dahlia prepares. Elias disposes. He writes their story in journals bound with skin. Dahlia sings while the meat simmers. They feed. They fuck. They feed again. And in the garden behind the house, where the soil is always warm, the flowers grow tall, fed by bones. The one who screams. New victim Isla Moore. They called it the house on Marrow Hill. The locals whispered about strange lights at night. No mail ever arrived. No one ever left. But I wasn't afraid. I was desperate. My car had broken down. I had no phone service, no signal, no gas station for 10 miles. And when the two women opened the door, one with soft blue eyes and syrupy kindness, the other with a dangerous smile and tiger-like eyes, I thought I'd gotten lucky. Dahlia and Lucine, they said. They gave me tea. Asked me if I was alone, if anyone knew where I was. I lied. I said yes. I shouldn't have. A knife and a smile. The first sign something was wrong came when the man joined us for dinner. Tall, silent, hands like bone saws. His name was Elias. He watched me like I was already dead. "I'll leave after I eat," I said nervously, spoon halfway to my mouth. "No, you won't," Lucine replied sweetly. Then Dahlia stood and said, "I hope you don't mind the house rules." "What rules?" "No screaming after midnight," Elias answered. "That's when I saw the chains beneath the table. That's when I ran." The house that breathes. They chased me, barefoot, laughing, like foxes toying with a rabbit. The house was alive with secrets, false doors, locked windows, trapdoors in the floors. Every room I entered whispered of previous victims. Teeth in jars, dried blood on curtains, meat hooks swinging gently. I made it to the second floor and barricaded myself in a dusty study. Books covered in strange titles. Handwritten journals. Pages about meat temperatures and how to preserve spinal cords for marrow syrup. I vomited. Then I found a phone and dialed 911. One ring. Two. A voice answered, but it wasn't the police. It was Lucine. "Wrong number, sweetheart." Isla's game. I wasn't weak. I'd escaped worse. I broke open a drawer, grabbed a knife and whispered to myself, "You are not meat." When they finally burst in, expecting a broken, screaming girl, I slashed Lucine across the cheek. She laughed, blood running down her jaw. "Finally," she hissed. "One that fights back." Dahlia was quieter, more dangerous. She circled behind me and whispered, "You're not our first fighter, love, but you'll be our favorite cut." I stabbed her in the thigh and ran, downstairs, into the cellar, where the bodies were. And that's where I met him. Rabbit. The blood pact. He was still alive, eyes wild, legs shattered, but not dead. He grabbed my wrist. "They don't kill quickly. They want to keep you." "I'm not staying," I said. "Neither are you." But Rabbit was already crawling. He pulled a hidden bag from beneath the boards. Inside, lighter fluid, a flare, old blood-stained maps of the estate. "I tried once," he rasped. "Didn't finish the job. You can." Footsteps echoed above. "Elias." I didn't hesitate. I lit the match. Chapter 10. Ash and Teeth. The fire spread fast. The house screamed as it burned, wood cracking like bones, smoke curling like lost souls. Lucine howled. Dahlia begged. "Elias?" He walked into the flames. I dragged Rabbit out. We didn't look back. 3 graves, 2 shadows. They said that the house burned down. But they never found the sisters' bodies. Or Elias's. Only a trail of scorched bone leading into the forest. Some nights I swear I hear laughter on the wind. Sweet, cruel, harmonizing. I don't sleep easily anymore. Because deep down I know I was their favorite. And they'll come looking. Soon. What fire cannot kill. The flames swallowed the house. But not them. Lucine clawed her way out first. Her dress charred, her skin blistered, her laughter echoing as if pain were ecstasy. Dahlia was slower, coughing blood. Her locket melted against her chest. Elias carried her. His arm scorched to the bone, eyes dark with fury. They collapsed in the woods behind the estate, watching their life burn to ash. "Rabbit's alive," Lucine wheezed. "She set us on fire," Dahlia whispered, trembling. Elias didn't speak. He simply stared at the moon and said, "She thinks she ended us." Lucine bared her teeth, her voice a growl. "Then let's end her." Chapter 20. Rebirth in blood. They didn't die, they evolved. Lucine became feral, sharpening her teeth, carving blades from bones, hunting small prey in the woods and eating raw meat under starlight. Dahlia turned silent, methodical, the burn scars beautiful in their horror. She stitched new identities, forged papers, stole cash. Elias trained. Every day. No more hiding behind books, no more underestimating anyone. Together, they rebuilt. Not a manor this time. A cabin deep in the wild, hidden, untraceable, a shrine to survival. And at the center of it all, a hand-drawn portrait of Isla Moore, pinned with a knife to the wall. The taste of her name. "She was beautiful," Dahlia murmured one night, tracing Isla's face on the paper. "She was mine," Lucine spat. "She burned us," Elias growled. They couldn't stop thinking about her. The only one who escaped. The only one who bit back. The only one who made Elias feel helpless again. Lucine wanted to skin her. Dahlia wanted to seduce her, then slit her throat mid-kiss. Elias? He wasn't sure, he just wanted Isla close again. Breathing, trembling, and chained. They didn't just want revenge, they wanted her back in the house. Isla's quiet life. 6 months passed. Isla moved, changed her name, started teaching at a school far from Marrow Hill. She dyed her hair, bought a gun, slept with it under her pillow. But some nights, she missed them. The danger, the intimacy, the twisted, breathless moments where she didn't know if she was going to be kissed or gutted. She had dreams of Lucine's laugh, Dahlia's cold hands, Elias's voice in her ear saying, "You're not meat, you're mine." One morning, she found a heart-shaped locket on her doorstep. Inside it, a still-beating mouse heart. The return. They followed her, watched her teach, eat, shower. They didn't rush. Predators are patient. One night, as Isla walked to her car, she smelled perfume on the handle. Dahlia's. Inside the vehicle, a note. "Run again. We'll only chase harder." And beneath that, "This time, you scream for us." Captured again. They took her in her sleep, gassed the house, slipped in silently, carried her body like glass. She woke up cuffed to a velvet-lined bed in a candle-lit room. Lucine was first. Smiling, naked, wild. "I missed your screams, Isla." Then Dahlia. Elegant, scarred, holding a scalpel and a silk dress. "I missed your trembling." And then Elias, dressed in black, silent until he leaned in and whispered, "This time, we don't let go." Isla didn't cry. She didn't scream. She only smiled. "Then what are you waiting for?" Chapter 25. The breaking of Elias. He thought bringing her back would fix it. That having Isla beneath him again, gagged, trembling, furious, would satisfy the crawling hunger in his chest. But she didn't fight this time. She didn't beg. She didn't run. She smiled. And that terrified him more than anything. The knife under her pillow. The first cut came while he was asleep. Right along the ribs, Thin, elegant, intentional. Isla didn't scream, she just whispered, "You made me like this." Then she licked the blood from the knife and kissed his forehead. Lucine found him in the morning, shirt soaked crimson. He said nothing. He couldn't, because part of him liked it. Chapter 27. She knew how to twist the blade. Isla knew where to hurt him most, not his body, his mind. She started whispering to Dahlia at night, lingering near Lucine in the bath, sitting on Elias's lap, but looking away. She made him jealous, worse than pain, worse than blood. When he finally snapped, grabbing her throat, pinning her to the wall, she laughed into his mouth. "You're not the one in control anymore." Then she kissed him with teeth, and he let her. A man on his knees. They tied him down, his own chains, his own room. Lucine sat on his chest and dragged a blade across his hip slowly. "You forgot your place, love." Dahlia stitched cruel symbols into his inner thigh. "You were never our master, only our match." "And Isla," she whispered into his bleeding ear, "you thought I was meat. But I've been the butcher since day one." He cried out once, only once, then went silent. The feast. Elias didn't move for 3 days. The girls dined without him. They carved meat from their new victim, laughed, kissed, danced barefoot in blood. But on the 4th day, Elias crawled from the chains, half-naked, shaking, eyes hollow. He knelt at Isla's feet, pressed his cheek to her thigh. "Please, hurt me again." The new order. Now, Elias doesn't lead. He kneels. To Isla, to Dahlia, to Lucine. His body is a map of every sin they've written into him. Carvings, bite marks, bruises like poetry. And he lives for it. Because the most dangerous monster of all is the one you turn into when you love your own destruction.